I'm Jon Phillips and I work for Creative Commons and I do community and business development. I work for the community from the bottom up and with companies from the top down, meet somewhere in the middle. So Creative Commons is basically a some rights reserved approach to copyright, meaning that on this hand you have, on the far left you have public domain, and that means no rights reserved. You can do whatever you want with something. On the far right you have copyright, meaning you have to get an agreement to do something with someone's work, share or copy it. So Creative Commons provides 6 licenses that go from more free to less free. In the past, in the US, there was more of an idea of public domain, where content was available for the public to be able to take it, do something with it, remix it, change. Obviously, remix is a newer term, appropriation. Creative Commons is looking to fix that imbalance and make it more fair for individual creators to be able to do things with works. Not just to take it and make a derivative or remix, to empower people who are already taking files and doing things with them, taking music, doing things with them. So let's say if you have a video that you've made on your own, this is just standard copyright, and you want to use a Peter Gabriel song. You would have to go and get an agreement with whoever represents them and probably pay a lot of money to be able to use that with your work. Same way, if you wanted to use any other copyright holder's work, you'd have to go get a specific agreement with them, thus incurring more legal costs. Because of course they don't want to talk to you, they want to talk to either your checkbook or your lawyer. CC is trying to provide is this auto-negotiation, this way for there to be a way for these 2 different parties to connect. So when they have the appropriate license, then you can connect together. Right now we're a permissions culture, where you have to get permission to use content. The goal is to be a participatory culture where people can participate. Ideally, you have a system where it's clear to see how you can either buy in for this contract, buy into being able to use something, you will see the Creative Commons license that's applied to it and know what you can do with it. Early on in CC, the licenses, individuals thought you couldn't get paid because it was more about freedom, about opening up your information, but that's not true. And we're seeing now more people and more companies go, hey, this is a good system, because people are going to share this stuff anyway. You might as well empower them to do it and treat them as good citizens for helping you out. If you're a copyright holder, none of the licenses restrict you from making money. And the licenses are not exclusive, meaning you can have agreements with other parties. Without the adoption, what's the reason to buy in if nobody else is using it? What is the compatibility? So what? Now we're reaching a point where you could probably estimate there's 350 to 400 million license adoptions right now. Now we're starting to see a kind of a momentum that's picking up. So if you look at the license curve since adoption, it's exponential. There's some other not court cases, but precedent where there have been violations of photos have been taken off a site like Flickr, and the community noticed, the author said, hey, what's up? Pay up, and the companies settle with them because they see that there's that precedent. So there is a precedent for it. It's a good way to go, especially if you don't have the big bucks for a lawyer. And that's why my job is to work with people in the community as well as people at companies. It's kind of a reductive view to look at it that way. And also kind of scary because if you consider people are here and companies are here, I mean, it should be more like this. I don't know if anybody reads the EULAs and other kind of terms of service, but they're pretty often hardcore for content you've uploaded. Let's say right now you upload a video to YouTube, so it's under copyright and they have some agreement there for them how they can use the content, but there's not really anything that signals clearly how someone can share that content or if they can take the audio from it and put it under another video. Sites like Blip TV, Jump Cut, they allow for this kind of signaling with a Creative Commons license that says, hey, you can take this video and use it in your own. The idea is contributing to society on a larger scale. I mean, if I really want to get lost in it, lost in my job and be a complete company man, it has a lot to do with freedom and some really abstract ideas. With these kind of ideas of freedom, if you can get companies on board with them, it's a lot easier to work with community members. Community individuals often, yeah, of course, now. And because of video bloggers and bloggers at large have been so supportive, there's already that huge base. You just have to be balanced with how you do it. And I think from now on I'm going to describe it as this, because I think this is a bad way to do it. It's right, you have people, always people, and I always put people first, because otherwise we've lost our souls. And then you've got the companies that are around here as well. Community project that I'm working on for the summer is to figuring out how to mark documents with saying that you're using a certain CC license. So with video, that would be making like a bumper, like a video bumper that says, this is licensed under CC XYZ license, like let's say attribution 3.0. You can use the graphics we have to do that, and you can attribute it like how you want it to be attributed, like your name, URL to that video. It's kind of like you would go to a film and you see the beginning, you see the credit roll, maybe at the end you see the credits of what happens. It's a way to put this notice within the file itself so you can upload it to sites that might not necessarily support CC licensing directly on the interface, but it takes it along with your file. Attribution is the currency of the web. And I would say attribution is the currency of the web, and CC licenses are the grease for Web 2.0.